Hello and welcome to this edition of Y-PAC CityCast. I'm Randy Beeler. The Yakima City Council will see one of the biggest changeovers in its history when the new council takes office on January 1st. 4 new members will join the council and just 3 incumbents will return. The 7-member council was sworn in on December 9th at Yakima City Hall. Typically, council members are sworn in at the first council business meeting of the new year following a general election. But because a federal judge ruled earlier this year that all 7 council seats would be up for election this year, the terms of the current members all expire on December 31st. Had the new council members not been sworn in earlier than usual, there would technically have been no sitting council in place between January 1st and January 5th, when the Yakima City Council's first business meeting of the new year will occur. That potential problem was solved by the earlier than normal swearing in on December 9th. The January 5th council business meeting will include the election of a new mayor and the election of a new assistant mayor. Strengthening access to public records by curbing abusive requests, finding funding partners for major infrastructure projects, and dealing with ways to pay for fighting gang activity and public defender costs top the list of legislative priorities for the city of Yakima during the upcoming session in Olympia. The Washington State Legislature will begin its 2016 session on January 11th. The 2016 session will be what's known as a short session, lasting no more than 60 days. In odd-numbered years, the legislature meets for a long session of 105 days. Last year, the legislature held 3 extra special sessions and was actually in Olympia for a total of 176 days. Off-year short sessions generally consist of small adjustments being made to the 2-year state budget and some general policy legislation. The legislature will also be pressed to address additional education funding and whether charter schools should have access to public funds during the 2016 session. Kids in Southeast Yakima have new playground equipment to enjoy, and changes have been made to the City of Yakima's parades and special events ordinance to help spread the cost of city personnel at those events. With those stories, here's CityCast's Ken Crockett.
Thank you, Randy. New playground equipment is in place in Southeast Yakima. The project near the Southeast Yakima Community Center was completed earlier than expected at a cost of $110,000. The life expectancy of the new equipment is 25 years, and it's nearly 3 times the size of the old playground toys. The new apparatus is designed for fun, but can also help reduce childhood obesity by emphasizing physical fitness activities such as climbing and swinging. Funding for the new equipment came from the City of Yakima's Parks and Recreation Division. Yakima's Special Events and Parade Ordinance was recently updated. For-profit events will be required to pay 100% of personnel costs that are incurred by the city for the event, while nonprofit organizations will share 50% of the cost. However, both nonprofit and for-profit special events will be responsible for all utility costs for such things as water, garbage, and cleanup. Other changes include a late fee for permit applications and a cleaning and maintenance fee for tents provided by the city. Annual community parades and the 4th of July celebration are exempt from the special event permit fee requirements. Back to you, Randy.
Thank you, Ken. When we come back, CityCast's Sean Davidow will let you know how the federal government is cracking down on drones. You're watching Y-PAC's CityCast.
My name is Jack Kurtzinger, and I coach grade kid football, and I teach self-defense.
My name's Ryan Pepper, and I coach youth basketball.
I'm Jim Moore, and I'm a certified EMT.
I'm Elaine Gonzalez, and I'm a police chaplain.
What do we have in common? We're all a part of your Yakima Police Department. Be part of the solution.
By all accounts, this Christmas season has seen heavy sales of drones in all shapes and sizes. The popularity of the flying devices has caught the attention of the federal government, and some changes are on the way for drone owners. To tell you more, here's CityCast's Sean Davidow.
Thanks, Randy. I'm here just outside of the city of Yakima's drone no-fly zone, which is a 5-mile radius around the Yakima airport. And yes, with my very own Christmas drone, one of about 1 million model aircraft expected to be sold this holiday season. Now, Randy, this isn't my first unmanned aerial vehicle. Last year, about 600,000 UAVs like these were purchased, and in 2015, I got one and I caught the flying bug. Now, I've since developed quite a fleet of my own as a hobbyist pilot, and the keyword, Randy, is pilot. Drones like these are considered aircraft, and the people flying them are pilots. Over the past year, I've also learned that these things can and will crash from mechanical failures and pilot errors, and these things can be dangerous if they're used irresponsibly. Still, they're a tremendous amount of fun, and the practical uses for unmanned aerial vehicles are endless. Now, on December 21st, the Federal Aviation Administration put in place a federal law to regulate the use of all unmanned aerial vehicles, or drones, and the law affects anything that weighs more than about a half pound up to about 55 pounds. Now, to give you an idea, this little guy is under half a pound, so it won't need to be registered. But you still should be careful, especially when flying around people or pets, because just like in the movie A Christmas Story, you can put an eye out with one of these things. You droned your eye out! Now, on the other hand, a quadcopter like this with a battery can weigh about 2 to 3 pounds and can easily fly out of sight, and if it came crashing down on someone or something, it could really cause some damage. So this does need to be registered with the FAA under the new online UAV registration system, which is available on the Federal Aviation Administration website at faa.gov. Now, for the first 30 days, registering your remotely piloted vehicle is free, and then after January 20th, there will be a $5 service charge to register your drone, which is the same amount as to register a Boeing 747 if you just have one of those laying around. Now, one of the most important things to remember about this new hobby is to have fun and to fly safely. And the FAA has a few tips to help the new generation of pilots do just that. First, whenever you fly under 400 feet. Do not fly within 5 miles of a major airport. That is the no-fly zone. And unfortunately, that includes the entire city of Yakima, as shown on this map. Only licensed pilots with certified aircraft are allowed to fly within the no-fly zone unless you have permission from airport authorities. Now, while there haven't been any close calls with aircraft in our area, there have been model aircraft landed on the airport grounds in the last few years, and the skies around Yakima are constantly buzzing with low-flying small private airplanes and helicopters, and other things that include military aircraft, commercial airlines, and freight carriers. Also, if you're flying your remotely piloted vehicle and you see or hear an aircraft, land your craft immediately. There are several mobile applications and lots of information on the internet to help you understand where you can and can't fly your drone. Next, do not fly over crowds of people or animals or buildings like stadiums or sporting events. Find an open space to fly your drone. Like I said, I know from experience these things can crash, and a racing quadcopter like this or a larger drone like these can move very fast and could seriously injure someone or cause major damage to a car or structure, and the pilot would be responsible and could face fines or worse. Also, never fly your drone near emergency response efforts like fires or accidents. Aircraft trying to assist efforts can be diverted if UAVs are spotted in the area, and again, hefty fines or even jail time could be imposed on the pilot. Now, Randy, flying these UAVs can be a lot of fun and a practical tool if they're used responsibly. And right now I'm going to have some of that high flying fun and send it back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Sean, and thank you, too, for joining us for this edition of Y-PAC CityCast. You can always keep up to date with what's going on with the city of Yakima by becoming part of the city's social media network. The City of Yakima website, which can be found at yakimawa.gov, contains a wide array of information about city policies, programs, and activities. The official City of Yakima Facebook page will link you to valuable and important information about what's happening locally. And the official City of Yakima Twitter feed is a great way for you to stay informed while you're on the go. Visit the City of Yakima website, find us on Facebook, or follow the city on Twitter. We'll see you on the next edition of Y-PAC CityCast. I'm Randy Beeler. Take care.
For more information on Y-PAC CityCast, call 575-6092.